Welcome everyone to the our show today on the Enlightened Living Network and on the Sound Wellness page. This show is called The Gifts of the Sacred Feminine, the Empath's Journey. I'm Sharon Carne of Sound Wellness, and I'm here with Carmen Hansen of Chakra Mize, and we are just so delighted to be hosts of this show. It's a monthly show on the second Wednesday of every month, and you're most welcome to come and join us. And I also want to thank Ruth Anderson for asking us to be here and share some of our wisdom and delight with becoming and being and understanding and flowing with being an empath and sharing some of that wisdom we've gathered over the years. So, because there's just so much in the air right now, Carmen and I really want to invite you to join with us in singing three Ohms to create sacred space as we begin our time together. So, to do that, I'm bringing the old bowl over here, and we'll sing along with the old bowl. So, please join in. I love this way as just a beautiful way to become centered and to breathe in a beautiful and protected space. Our topic for today is how to shift to a positive mindset. Last month, we talked about how to handle fear and whether how to also listen to those voices inside the head. How do you tell what is an ego voice and how do you tell what is a soul voice? Because that soul voice is so important for us right now. So, as we get started here, I want to backtrack a little bit and introduce you to Carmen. Carmen is an animal communicator. She's so brilliant at that. So, you have to contact her if you have challenges with your animals. She's a sound wellness practitioner. She's a shamanic elder and a metaphysical teacher, and she focuses on bringing love and light into the world. Her website link is in the description for the post, so do go and visit and check it out. Welcome, Carmen, and I just love doing these shows with you. I always learn so much.
Thank you, Sharon. I look forward to this day and our pet show as well. Every month is just such a blessing to be able to share, even if only a few people gather live. The information is here for others to access and perhaps find some peace and love and maybe a grounding that they haven't felt before. And I'd like to introduce my friend, Sharon Carne, and she is the founder of Sound Wellness Institute. And she is a music teacher, and she is a gifted artist, musician. She is an international speaker. She's written books, best-selling books. She's a grandma, and she's my friend, and I am like, I can't say enough how grateful I am to have this connection and that we connected in such an interesting way.
There, sorry, we did, Carmen, and thank you so much for that. We did connect in such an interesting way, and I will never forget it because it's like it connected our souls again. Because this isn't the first time we've done stuff together. I have no doubt about that, and it was just such a delight to make that heart connection again and to journey together through all the things we're doing together these days.
Just to
Mm.
find each other again. It was,
Yeah.
uh, people say there's no such thing as luck, but serendipity, everything happens for a reason, is definitely, uh, in my view, a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I so agree with that, Carmen. And there's just so much of that happening these days. And what I find for myself, there's the with our that chatter in the mind for me, whenever if I bump into the newspaper or the news or what's going on in the world, and I do like to kind of know what's going on in the collective mindset because I find for me as an empath, that collective mindset impacts me emotionally in a huge way. And so, no, kind of knowing what's going on in that collective mindset when I'm feeling, okay, I slept way more than usual, or I was up half the night. What's going on? It feels weird today. And there's a part of my energy that is, well, we are all connected. There's just no way around that. We are all connected. And how we live our lives, how we go about, what we do, how we live our soul purpose too, all of that is connected and it contributes to the collective field that we are all connected to. And so, and most of the empaths on the planet, like it or not, some days it's not liking it, are connected to that collective field in an emotional way. Do you find that, Carmen?
I have been overwhelmed at times until I do some of my methods. And that's why we're here, to show people some of these methods so that they can shift that overwhelm. But I have been overwhelmed. I have stayed in bed for 2 days straight lately, and that's not how I usually function. And to and if I would take that on as, a negative or a judgment on myself, there's some of that. But I've been in practice of just allowing what is, and if it's possible to honor that staying in bed for 2 days, um, then honor it, and or stay awake. Prior to that, I was wakened at, I don't know what time it was, 4:02, I believe, for 4 mornings in a row, 4:02.
Huh.
And so I took notice of that, and I went, okay, 4 plus 2 is 6, and I did my inquiry on what the numerology is. I feel like we dive into a certain practice and we forget about all the rest. Myself, I feel like there's 150 tools for me to pick up as needed. So, like numerology, animal wisdom, uh, mantra. Uh, what 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 tools do you need at this moment? What tools make you feel good? And I hope I answered your question. Yes, I have been overwhelmed at times, and when I recognize it, and we're going to go through some of that today, is how to shift it and how to release it and just say, this isn't mine, or it is mine, and I'm willing to part with at least some of it.
Yeah, and this is the perfect segue into our list of tools and things that we were going to talk about today, Carmen, because I feel that last month's show was kind of the first step of this. I call myself a student of my thoughts, a lifelong student of my thoughts, and I find that understanding the chatter that goes on in here, which is usually the chatter of the ego, it kind of gives me an idea of where the ego is at. And then to be able to get into a place, and that's the tools we're going to talk about today, of how to quiet that voice, give that voice a job, and then to be able to listen to the soul's or the heart's voice, because that is where your solutions are. They're not in what the mind can do. The mind has nothing to do about solutions, really. The solutions that will help you emotionally and with your soul's journey come from your heart, and they come from the soul. So that what the tools we're going to talk about today is, okay, let's make a list. Like you were saying, there's so many things that we have easily accessible to us that are just beautiful ways to shift into that. Okay, I'm noticing all of a sudden what's going on up here, and I don't like it too much. Okay, bless your heart, my beautiful little ego mind. Thank you for being there and for helping me with figuring out how to bring my soul's purpose into the world. That's what this is for. And then this is to serve the heart. The heart is the driver here. And we always think this is the driver. It's not. So getting out of this and into the heart, and then that soul's voice, what kinds of tools we can use. So it's so important today, these days. So Carmen, share your favorite. What, or one of them. I have so many favorites. I know it's hard to pick.
Wow. Good question. My engineer brain is trying to come up with a, but I know the answer. The answer is a little ditty in the morning. So I wake up. I'm not much of a morning person. I start slowly. I get my coffee, but I do a little ditty, and I've made up one, and it's a very simple little tune, and it's like, thank you for my knees, thank you for the bees, thank you for my nose, thank you for my clothes, thank you for my world, thank you for my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you for my coffee, thank you for my tea. You know, you go on like this. It doesn't even have to be, it could be just a chant like that. Like the tune, I can't put my finger on. I sing it most mornings and I can't put my finger on it. But so you get the idea. You can make up a little, and if you're not a singer, you could just say, hand on the heart to bring awareness to that spot. Just say, thank you. Where is the gift in this challenging circumstance? Or thank you. Thank you for this Chinook, which has given me this headache, but now everything is, is melting, and I can walk outside without my nose hairs freezing. And I mean, here in Canada, or in Alberta, anyways, we've had a cold snap, and now we have this beautiful melty schmelty set of days. For how long, we don't know, but it's get out and enjoy it. Look at the sun, and not directly at the sun, but look somewhere close to the sun and open your eyes and say, allow, just absorb some positivity, if you can do those little tiny, like, just things that go, okay, I am grateful. I have a roof over my head, or I have friends that love me, or I have family that I'm connected to and love me. If you can, thank you for this plant. This plant is so delightful. Or, we could go on and on with our gratitude-a-thon. Thank you for the walls. Thank you for, you just start looking around and saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the circumstances that are weighing you down, or the heavy, seem to lighten up for me. How do you feel about that?
I love that so, so much, Carmen, because it is a beautiful way to shift that heavier feeling. And I also love, and this is important for that when that overactive mind of mine gets carried away, it's very powerful when it gets carried away, especially with fearful thoughts. The only thing that can shut that down is the heart. The only thing that can shut down the overactive mind is the heart. And so I love that you recommended to put your hands on your heart. Science has shown that there's more information through the nervous system and through all the other systems of the body going from the heart to the brain than there is from the brain to the heart. So really, science is starting to figure out it really is your heart that's in charge of things here. We completely ignore it, or we stuff it, or we repress it. So the gratitude is such a perfect way to bring your focus back to the heart, to let the brain go, whatever it's looking at is with your hands on your heart, because it brings the feeling there. And even if you press in, I find myself pressing in, Carmen. If my mind is going nuts, then I press in on the heart, and then I go, thank you for the door, thank you for the light, thank you for electricity, thank you for the computer, thank you for my friends, and go on and on and on until it shifts. It's so powerful. Gratitude-a-thon was your word.
Well, I borrowed that from you, so thank you,
Yeah.
my.
And I borrowed it from a friend of mine who teaches this in her things. Brenda McIntyre, medicine song woman. She lives in London, Ontario now. Definitely look her up. She is absolutely amazing. She is one of our beautiful First Nations healers who is online a lot, sharing her beautiful voice and drum and ways of healing. So definitely check out Brenda McIntyre. We've been friends for a long time too, so it's a very special lady. And so gratitude-a-thon is huge. One thing I wanted to share a story, Carmen, years ago. Oh, I won't say how many. But we were going through a time in our lives when our kids were young, and there was so much trauma in different areas of our lives, with jobs, with family, deaths in the family, two in one year. And it was so much going on that this for me was just beyond what I could ever think I could control. And what I found was the word Om and the mantra Om. What I ended up doing, Carmen, is I would sing Om in my head all day long, because it was the only thing at that time that would distract what was going on in the brain. And Om is such a powerful sound. I have learned since that I'm so grateful that at that time it was what I found that helped me to bring some coherence and quiet of sorts at that time, when everything just seemed to be way beyond what I could manage. And it really made a difference. Huge. It's like my mind latched onto it as a survival technique. That it really helped to quiet down the what if, the shoulds, the woulds, and all of those ways that the mind goes to distract you from your heart.
Mm. Yeah, well, and that's protect. Supposedly, it's a protection mechanism, and so, if I may, I'd just like to add to what you said about the brain. It's almost like the mechanism to get things done, but the ideas are much more prosperous and happy and abundant from the heart. The ideas, the feeling, and many of us think, oh, we shouldn't feel this way. I suggest that we should feel it all, acknowledge it, and going, yes, I'm fearful. Yes, I'm frustrated. Yes, and it's okay. I'm okay. I mean, tapping, tapping, huge um, following of tapping as well. You can go to the tapping solution as a free app. You can use tapping to help physically move that feeling of, and that judgment on yourself is, oh, I shouldn't. No, I'm okay. I accept myself. I love myself. That's a harder one for many people, but even I like myself. Okay, I don't like myself. I accept myself. However, you can come to it and it will grow.
Beautiful, and thank you for mentioning that. I have to download that to my phone because it is a powerful thing. And from what I've learned, especially in the last 15, 20 years or so, Carmen, is that the heart and the brain are meant to work together. In many people, they are protagonists, they're separated, and they're not meant to do that. They're meant to work together. The brain is meant to serve the heart. The brain is meant to serve the reason you're here on the planet. And so finding ways for them to work together are all the tools we're sharing. It brings the mind and the heart into what's called coherence, which is a frequency match, which means, oh, there you are. Now we can work together.
And if you want to know any of the science behind that, you can go to the Heart Math Institute.
Yes, and there's a recent interview with Greg Braden where he talks about this. I just saw this last week, Carmen, where he talks about the heart mind coherence and how important it is for us right now as we're evolving into and understanding our way of being previously is not working for us. It's not working for our planet. It's not working for our children. It's not working for our systems. So we need to find better ways. And I know there are people all over the world who are working with solutions in better ways. And the first step of that, I believe, is bringing brain, that brilliance in the brain, to serve the brilliance in the heart. And what solutions are you here for? What solutions are you here to share with the world? Because we need them right now. And that step is to bring in that forgiveness and bringing into coherence with all of these tools, the tapping, the Om, the gratitude-a-thon. So shall we add to our list? This is fun.
Breath.
Breath.
A
Oh,
simple
share that.
breath. A simple breath. But we want to draw it down, not just into our lungs. We want to draw it down, right down to past our belly button if we can. And just release it. A slow breath in. And you notice that I just naturally sigh. And it's a very relaxing, that can just shift the whole chemistry of the body in about 10 breaths, or maybe even 5, I'm not sure. And the audible sigh allows the body to express itself without a scream or, and sounds like that. We've become so quiet. Shh, don't say anything. Don't express yourself. So we've become almost hiding our truth. So if you can't express safely to someone that's a frustration, or that's caused you to feel that they don't cause it, you feel frustrated with, you can go out in the middle of the woods or into a park and just breathe into that frustration or that anger or that unspoken conversation and tone out, ah, or you could yell, ah, or you can hum, because it feels sticky and so sounds, we have become so mute. And that's what part of our mission is, Sharon, is to enliven and have everyone know they have a sound, they have a voice, they have a reason to be here. Their niche is, their shift is as important as mine, is as important as yours. We might be speaking about it, but we need everyone, like you said. Everyone is become so disconnected, I would say. And we're reconnecting. There's lots of us that are reconnecting, and we need more. So, and we're open to people reaching out to us personally as well. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. We will make the time to respond and offer some enlightenment, perhaps, or a session. Like we're both very capable of doing online sessions, and we can help people. We can assist with that. If you want private coaching on this, that we're happy to do that. And we have decided to present this show so that people don't have to they have a free option to have some of these tools and ideas.
Yeah, thank you for Carmen. Thank you for mentioning that. And the we share so many tools here. And one
Mhm.
thing I will add to the post after we're done is the link to the YouTube playlist, which is easier to find all the videos of all the shows we've done, both the
Yes.
animal shows and this empath show, because we're sharing a lot of beautiful ways for you to connect with that voice of the heart, the voice of the soul. I also wanted to say hi. We've got some comments on the Facebook pages, Carmen, for those attending live. So Prachetta, good afternoon, Prachetta. And she says, Om is a universal sound. Om is supreme. Yeah. And then Kathy is on the Sound Wellness page. She loves your song, your morning song. So I'm sure she's going to probably add that to her morning repertoire too. I bet you will, Kathy. So beautiful. So we've had mantra and then making sound, allowing your body to express. We express easily from the mind. However, we don't always connect with that heart and the body. The heart is the heart of your soul. It's also the heart of the body. So sometimes it needs to allow expression just from the body, which is like the like you were talking about. That's expression from the body that allows it to become free of stuff we planted in here. I know as an empath, I do a lot of that. And I need to continue to keep that flow, that movement within my body to help me do the best and be the best I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So that and the humming, sometimes when you need a nurturing sound to add on to what Carmen was saying about these sounds that help support the body, is just a gentle hum. Do you find yourself doing that sometimes? It's like, no song in particular, or just one sound. If it's a low sound and you put your hand on your rib cage, you can feel the vibration in your body. It's like nothing feeds your body like your own sound, and especially a humming sound, which travels through all the bones so fast. And then it just kind of spreads out into all the tissues. And one of the cool things about sound that I've learned is that sound is a carrier wave. It's like turning your radio station, or however you do it on your phone. You I don't do that, but you turn the dial to a certain radio station in your car, for example, 102 FM. And so you're on 102 FM as a carrier frequency. Now, that frequency is a wave in the air, and that wave in the air carries all of the news, all of the songs, all of the weather, all of the commercials. It's a carrier wave. Think of your voice as a carrier wave. It's a carrier wave that carries the energy and frequencies of you, your heart, and your soul, especially. It'll carry the jaggedness of the mind sometimes. However, it's a powerful carrier wave for your heart and your soul. So when you're doing the humming, then just hum. And then as you're humming, go into the heart and that gratitude. And so here we're combining a couple of the tools. And as you shift into that gratitude, you'll notice that this becomes quieter. The physical sensation of gratitude being carried on the sound of your own voice gets planted physically into every cell. Physically, and I say physically because the sound and gratitude creates a release of hormones from the brain. Endorphins that helps the body manage pain. Those are your natural drugstores in here in the nervous system that helps to release pain. Also other endorphins that helps to calm the nervous system and to bring nurturance through blood, through nervous system to all the cells. The sound of your voice stimulates that. So know that your sound is a carrier wave that carries whatever you're talking about all the time, 24/7. Well, maybe not when you're sleeping, but it will carry the energy behind what you're saying. So when you bring that into the hum, when you bring gratitude into the hum, you are feeding every particle of your body in a very powerful way.
That's why we love sound so much.
Yep.
We do. And I've met quite a few people that just can't even make a hum, not even a squeak. And uh, once they do get just even a hum out, because that's the easiest one. It's very benign. There's nothing attached to it. It's just a hum, like your mother rocking you to sleep with her little hum at night. But now it's yours. And so I feel like it's important to remind people we have a voice for a reason. It's not to be silent.
Yeah, and it's perfect when it does singing things. That's the stronger carrier wave, Carmen. Yeah.
Well, and that's a step beyond what some people can do. But hum is definitely something that anyone can do.
Yeah. Let's segue for a moment into sound tools because
Ooh,
there's, for those who have them or are considering adding a sound tool to your life, and Incredible. I was so grateful when Incredible found its way. I remember, gosh, quite now about 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, my sister was going through terminal cancer, and I was one of her main caregivers and took her to all her appointments. We spent many hours in the cancer center. And so I found at times that coming home, I would be just so filled with challenging emotions. And so what I would do is I would grab Incredible, put Incredible on my lap. Right now I'm holding it in my hand because it's a heavy big bowl. It'll sound on the lap, and tap hard and tap fast. And I found for me that helped create so much movement in my cells that it helped to release the frustration so that I could come back to being back in my heart. And I can demonstrate a little bit. And Carmen, maybe you can demonstrate with some of your tools. I'll move back from the microphone a bit because it's a powerful sound. So if you want to take a moment yourself to use this sound, then go into a frustration that you're managing right now. Bring your awareness to it. Sometimes frustrations plant themselves in the body. So just take a moment to notice where that frustration might be. It'll plant itself and show up as an ache or a pain often, or a stomach ache, or just nervousness. It'll show up in a lot of ways. So just acknowledge that at the moment. And then as I tap the bowl quite dramatically, allow the sound to flow in and around you and through you. Sound will do that. And carrying this frustration away with it as its carrier wave. if you're ready to let go of it. Some frustrations have some learning behind them, so that they can take a few moments or a little longer to go, but we can reduce intensity sometimes in those.
And
Okay, so
before
here's,
you
oh,
start,
Carmen,
let's
yeah.
before you start, let's imagine a golden bubble that the
Oh,
angels
yes,
are going
thank
to
you.
just take away and transmute that energy, because energy doesn't go anywhere. I mean, it either shifts or transmutes or just leaves us, but it splatters onto someone else. So let's create a golden bubble to capture those.
Yes, thank you. One of the things that I find helps me too, Carmen, and thank you for mentioning that, is one of your body's jobs is to keep you safe, including your brain. And so the body will carry some of this emotional energy to keep you safe. So let us add gratitude for our body for holding on to this energy until we were ready to let it go. And that also helps the energy to go because feeling the gratitude, the body can say, oh, I've done my job. She's ready to let it go now. Okay, let's let it go. Let's support that intention. Okay, so here's the sound. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. So hopefully that sound came through the microphone and the computer. Okay, Carmen, that's good. That feels better. Feels lighter. Feels brighter.
Yes. And we can use that technique with a tambourine. I mean, a Tibetan bowl is brilliant at doing that. But if we don't have a Tibetan bowl, what else could we use? We could use a drum, and you have one behind you. We could use a rattle. We could use, and that's why we first mentioned using our voice, because that is our cheapest resource. It's
Yep,
easy. We can use
yep.
tuning forks. Tuning
Hmm.
forks, well, and I mean, we could go into a whole thing of tuning forks as well. So, and you can get a fairly inexpensive set, and they won't hold their frequency for very long. So go with a more, I would suggest going with as expensive as you can afford, not just cheaping out. Um, anyway, whatever, that's another thing. So let's just sprinkle. I have a song pod here. Oh, where is it?
Perfect.
A
Yeah,
song
perfect.
pod. And let's just, now that we've released, let's add. So we don't want to, once we've released that spot, mine was here. Once we've released that from our, we used your bowl in this case, we want to replace it with a higher vibration so that that same frequency can't just flow back in and be stuck there again, because that's the tendency that we have. We have habits, we have tendencies, and this is just, there's so many things to say. Sometimes I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
So we'll just start where we start, and that's why we throw things at the wall, we spitball, uh, we're inviting everyone else's comments as well. Please chime in. I love the comment about Om. That's been uh, a very useful tool for me. The mantra that I use frequently is the medicine Buddha. And the Gayatri mantra is also very beautiful, and I'm not have not been led to use that one as much. Even a small one like Om Mani Padme Hum. That one, you could just say that one 100 times or 5 times, but that helps us alter the distress that we're in.
Very much so, Carmen, and thank you for sharing the other mantras too, because they're, like you say, there you can use your voice and use the mantras, or find a beautiful recording on YouTube that has those mantras and sing along with it, or just allow that music to help calm you down and to bring you back to the heart, because we've got to be back in the heart. Another thing, the sound of the bowl tapped so rapidly shakes everything from the inside. Another way to shake everything up to release some of this emotional energy is just to shake. To put on the fastest music you have if you need it, or play a drum and just shake, 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 shake everything. Because the shaking also helps to release that emotional energy. And then find a hum or a sound or something you find beautiful, like your song pod, and then fill that space with after you've done the shaking. Very, very helpful for that energy that the body hangs on to. This is one of the body's jobs, remember, to hang on to stuff you're not ready or able to deal with at the time. So we've got this stuff all over. And thank you to the body for doing that for us, and then allowing us to find ways to release that is really important. And all of these will help with that, to help clear those spots, and be grateful for the body for doing that.
And so often we just forget. We just
Totally.
forget. We're running around in this meat sack and we just forget. Oh, we stub our toe. Oh, well, I'm too busy. If you just take a moment and say, "Oh, sorry, toe, this happened. Oh, I'm really sorry this happened to you." Just, just help it to be acknowledged. It doesn't store up.
Mm-hmm. Good point, Carmen. Mm-hmm.
Because we're driving through life in our car. I'll use our car, and we got a little ding here. Oh, well, that's okay. Got a little ding there. Pretty soon the doors are falling off, the bumper is swooping, the engine is ticking because it's not got any oil in it, water. Um, the if we ignore our car, it breaks down. If we ignore our bodies, it breaks down. So if you have enough, just pay attention. Just pay attention. What to loving yourself just a little bit more. Just caring for yourself a little bit more. There's so many of us that just ignore ourselves and dash out to save the world. And that's very noble. And that's ego.
Good point. Thank you for that reminder. And to always come back to the heart, even though, and forgive ourselves for being forgetful. Smile at ourselves for being forgetful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
it's normal in this life. We always get these beautiful reminders to come back to the heart. Smile at yourself. Come back to the heart. Let's bring the brain online. The brain needs to support this purpose. Its purpose is important. Mm.
If we can ask it a question, how do I manifest peace? It starts working on that.
Hmm.
What if I could shift this and shift this anger, this frustration? What if I could shift this frustration? If you just pose a question to yourself, your brain starts working on it immediately. Very interesting.
Hmm. Very interesting. Yeah. Hmm. I wanted to, I feel that we've given everybody so many tools here, Carmen. How do you feel about ending our show today with the Medicine Buddha mantra? That's one of my favorites.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. Oh, that would be wonderful.
Would you like to guide that and I'll sing along with you, but go on mute? Is that okay?
That would be lovely. Thank you, Sharon.
I
And
love
just
when you do that.
give me the heads up when, well, I energy or wisdoms will tell me when to stop, I think.
Yes.
So, if we're all ready. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha. Te ata om be kunze, ma be kunze, radzu samuga te soha.
Thank you. That feels so good.
Thank you. And thank all the viewers if you tuned in. I am so pleased to have you here, have you hear some of our thoughts and ideas.
I ditto that, Carmen. That it's just so delightful to have you present, whether in person or on the recording. So thank you for listening, and look forward to seeing you on the last Wednesday of the month when we present Positively Connected with animal healing. So
Yes, and we've
it's
got Hudson.
Hudson, a little dog.
No, he's a I believe he's a setter, a lab,
Oh,
maybe set lab. I stayed with him for a week, and I did a little bit, and I think a session just on his own with his family because uh, three families gathered their dogs at one location, and I came up and cared for them while the families went to do
ah,
a winter vacation. So Hudson's going to join us, and well, we have to pre-record it, so we're not going to be able to take any live questions. And that's okay. We'll still appear on the 26th and at noon Mountain, and
and we'll
we
keep that.
welcome any other people that are. We have someone for February, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and so our March uh, client needs to come forward, or doesn't need to. Just please, we invite you to come forward and volunteer your pet and your household to be washed with the blessing of our combined energies.
Oh, beautiful, Carmen. I can hardly wait. Mm. So we'll say goodbye for now, everyone. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you for the Empath next month.